After saying no comment and heading back to the beach, President Biden decided to leave his second August vacation. 70% of August has been spent on vacation for Biden, flying from an $18 million Lake Tahoe estate, which he swears he's paying fair market value for, to survey the devastation in Hawaii and do what presidents always do: hug, cry, listen, and say it's going to be okay. But President Biden, who should have been well rested, couldn't even pull it off. Things got off to a bad start the minute he hit the ground.
Here he comes after 13 days.
Wow, he's finally here. Wow, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for nothing. For nothing. You.
Hawaii is not Trump country, but this has nothing to do with politics. These are people who expected presidential attention and compassion, and instead received a man looking lost, mouth agape.
Ready? You want to grab the water, Tracy?
President Joe Biden no longer has the spirit and the energy required to perform even ceremonial duties. The people of Hawaii saw this, and the whole country sees it now. In the middle of a meeting with survivors, Joe Biden looked terrifyingly unwell. We're concerned for his health and well-being. No American president, no American man should serve in this capacity when he's projecting such a lackluster vibe. Biden told people who lost their loved ones and all of their earthly possessions that one time he almost lost his cat.
I don't want to compare difficulties, but we have a little sense, Jill and I, what it's like to lose a home. Years ago, now 15 years ago, I was in Washington doing Meet the Press. It was a sunny Sunday, and lightning struck at home on a little lake that's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond, and hit a wire and came up underneath our home into the heating ducts, the air conditioning duct. To make a long story short, I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette, and my cat.
This did not go over well in the community.
Hearing you talk about your house that, had a little fire. You almost lost your cat and your Corvette. There are children that were incinerated to ash. The only way you think you can establish commonality with them is to lie. How dare you get up there and speak this way? Your job is to go there and assuage them in a way that you talk to them about their loss, that you can't imagine what it's like. That you can't imagine what it's like never to find the bodies of the poor children that were sent home from schools that died alone. Alone.
Not only is Joe's kitchen fire story disgustingly inappropriate, it's also made up. 20 years ago, Joe Biden had a small fire in his kitchen. Then Fire Chief George Malburn told the Associated Press this: the fire was under control in 20 minutes. The Cranston Heights Fire Company, which put out the fire, even released a statement saying this: for the fire service, this could be considered an insignificant fire, as it did not lead to multiple alarms and did not need a widespread incident response throughout the county. This is like telling Katrina victims, I know how you feel. My bathtub overflowed once. It almost soaked our Persian rug. And did Joe Biden just admit his classified documents almost caught on fire? Because he kept them next to the Corvette. But this is what an insecure, narcissistic, serial plagiarist does. He makes everything about himself in a clumsy attempt at real human connection, because he can't behave appropriately when the time calls for it. Whether it's meeting with Gold Star families and lying about his son being killed in action, or just claiming he's everything to everybody. It's what con artists do. But in America, we just call them shallow politicians.
I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school.
I used to go to 7:30 Mass every morning in high school and then in college before I went to the black church.
I'm involved in the civil rights movement and desegregating restaurants, that kind of thing.
Pittsburgh is a city of bridges, more bridges in Pittsburgh than any other city in America. I watched that bridge collapse I got there and saw it collapse. I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community at home politically.
At least he didn't toss a hurricane survivor a roll of paper towels. That was the real scandal. Will Cain, co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, has family impacted by wildfires. So, your emotional reaction to the Biden visit was what?
Just appalled. The truth is, last night I was watching Primetime. I was watching you, and you broke in with that latest sound of him comparing children incinerated in Lahaina to him almost using his 67 Corvette, Jesse. And as I listened to you play that sound, not that I was born and raised Lahaina, but I was absolutely appalled, angered. Here's the thing. Joe Biden's old. He's really old, Jesse, and that's a hard trip. That's a 12-hour trip from the East Coast. He's got a private bedroom, I'm sure, inside of Air Force One, but he's old. And so I guess I can forgive him for getting there and stumbling and bumbling and getting the mayor of Maui's name wrong and making stupid jokes about whether or not he could play defensive tackle for, I don't know, some good college. I guess I can forgive that trip, that it would be hard on an octogenarian. It'd be hard for somebody that's old. But old age doesn't forgive you for your lies. It doesn't forgive you for being, as you very well put it, Jesse, a con man. That little story he told about his kitchen fire, if I listened to it carefully, he said it was a sunny day. Sunny days aren't usually days you have lightning strikes. One contradiction. Two, he said he was doing on Meet the Press, and yet he got home to Delaware after a 20-minute fire in time to see the firefighters and see their heroic work. I'd say that's a second contradiction, a second lie. But again, beyond being old and beyond being a liar and a con man, the truth is revealed in your age. And you are a narcissist. If the only way you can connect with people that lost an entire town, entire families, children turned to ash is by personalizing it and putting it into the first person, that you have some sense because you had a kitchen fire, you're not fit for the office of the presidency of the United States.
This was the moment the country recognized, all of us, that this man is not fit. And that's clear as day. Will Cain, tell us how we can help, how if someone wants to help, how they can make an impact in Hawaii, in Maui.
Jesse, I truly, and I say this, and you and I know each other, so I hope you understand my authenticity when I say this to you. I truly appreciate that opportunity, and I'll tell you that my friends and family who have longtime ties in Maui have put together a GoFundMe because of the generosity of the Fox News viewer. That has approached $2 million,
wow.
And it's GoFundMe, Help the People of Maui, or you can go to helpmauinow.com. And at $2 million, I'll tell you, you're going to help entire neighborhoods of Lahaina. And for what it's worth, you're approaching the amount contributed by the Biden administration when they said $700 per household for 3,500 households. That's $2.4 million. So thank you, the viewers of Fox.
All right. Thank you, the viewers. Thank you, Will Cain. We hope everything works out down there.
Thanks, man.
$1 billion budget. Now, Deanne, who gets paid $180,000 a year, is saying FEMA's close to running out of funds and they'll have to delay operations if Congress doesn't immediately send them billions of dollars. Now, if I were Diane and I was trying to cut costs so that I wouldn't have to delay emergency operations, I might not have hundreds of my employees staying at $1,300 a night luxury hotels overlooking a city burnt to the ground with toddlers unaccounted for. This entire tragedy was preventable, and now the government's using it as an excuse to dine out in style. The corrupt Hawaiian Electric Company neglected to clear the highly flammable grass underneath their downed power lines. Emergency crews refused to set off the emergency sirens because they thought the sirens would confuse people. And then the water commissioner wouldn't share the water with the fire company because water equity means indigenous plants get the water, not fighting fires. This colossal cluster of incompetence, of ridiculous ideology and disrespect is now coupled with an embarrassing federal response that make freeloaders look prudent. These people may have lost everything, but what they haven't lost is their dignity. And that's something some of these bureaucrats will never have.